Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Azure Community Series. And today we are talking about developing a vision enabled generative AI application. So, before we jump right into developing a vision enabled generative AI application, I just want to talk about computer vision because it would be too forward to jump into creating this without just giving a background, right? So, what is computer vision? Well, computer vision is an area of artificial intelligence that deals with visual perception. So, it's an area of AI that deals with imagery, videos, and that allows AI to like receive those things, receive images or interact with images. And in Azure, which is our focus for today, in Azure AI, we have multiple services that support computer vision. One is reading text and images. That is, you can use your you can create apps using the Azure AI services to read that can read text in images. You can use them for facial recognition. So this gives you ideas of things that you can build on your um on your Azure portal or using Azure services. And by the way, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Dami Aremu, and I am an information technology professional and also a cloud engineer. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so back to what we're talking about, computer vision solutions in Azure. So we have classifying images. So when you upload an image to maybe an app, Azure can, or if your app is sitting on the Azure AI service, it can help you classify images. So most of these things require your own data though to train the AI. But if you're building your app on this, you can be sure that any of the services that you require to achieve be it reading text and images or detecting objects and images or classifying images, you can find them in the Azure AI suite. So I think from last week we already started speaking about AI, or the week before, and last week Catherine spoke on developing RAG applications. I hope everyone can hear me. Let me just confirm that so I know I am not speaking to myself. Just checking. Okay, great. Um, if you can hear me, just let me know. So just checking. Yeah. All right. So as at last week, we were already introduced to what we call the Azure AI Foundry, and we'll still be working with that today for developing our vision-enabled chat application. Right. So this is just us covering what computer vision is, and to give us a fundamental understanding in case you there's someone there who does not know. So now, bringing it home to what we are discussing today, what is a vision enabled generative AI application? And I know I'm speaking to a broad range of people, so I'll try to just break it down a bit. When we talk about a vision enabled generative AI application, we are talking about an AI powered system. First, I'm sure we are all familiar with what generative AI is. Oh, so we are familiar with what generative AI is and what um computer vision is. We already spoke about that. So imagine like the combination of the two. What are you going to produce, or what is going to come out of that, right? So it's an AI power system that can understand, interpret, or generate visual content, images and videos. And I know that every one of us here has interacted with it in some form of way. If you use ChatGPT, for example, you have probably given it an image, or you have told an image generative AI or video generating AI to generate a video for you using text or even audio, right? So we are familiar with it, but now what we want to do in today's series is to look at like how to build it using Azure, right? So what do we need to get started if we are building something like this? First, we are building on Azure, right? So first thing is your Azure AI Foundry portal. And like I said last week already, we already looked at what the Foundry portal is, but just to define it, it's a unified platform where you can develop and deploy generative AI apps and use Azure AI APIs responsibly. So it's like a broad platform that has all that you need to create generative AIs and consume Azure AI in a responsible manner. It's your one-stop shop to build, to test, to deploy, and manage intelligent solutions. And we'll be using it again today because, I mean, like I said, it's your one-stop shop. So apart from building your RAG application, today we are building a vision-enabled chat, and then next week somebody else could use it for something else. So it's very, very broad. All right. Um, Before I jump right into our demo for the day, which would take most of this session, I think I just wanted to. Okay, when we get there, we'll just continue. All right. So before I dive right into the demo, I know there are some people watching right now. Do you have any questions before I jump right into our demo? So that's just like a background of what we are, um, what we expect to do. And for our demo today, we'll be using the Microsoft Learn sample on developing a vision-enabled chat app. So we're developing a vision-enabled chat app, and I think that everyone knows what that is. Like when you think about it, you already think about creating a chat app that can um, read images or read videos. That'll be heavy, but yeah, read images when you put it in, and classified images when you ask, oh, what's this image about, it can classify it. So that's something that we're building today. So if there are no questions, just check before I go in. All right, I like to believe that my voice is clear. And all right, so I'll stop sharing my slides and I'll be sharing my Azure portal. Mm, okay. I hope that covers the entire window. Mm, just trying to share that window. Mm, mm, uh-oh. Okay, so I'll just share that again. Okay, I have to share my entire screen because I have two windows open. So I'm sharing my entire screen. All right. So just be bringing the Azure environment up. Please let me know that you can see my Azure environment. It's already on two different browsers, so but just being sure that you can see this. All right, so um yeah, this is my Azure portal, and I will say for those that missed last class, maybe you don't know how to create your Azure AI Foundry, you can search for it right here on the Azure portal, and you have this come up. So I already created mine, but just for if anyone missed, so you can create one here. It's very easy to create. You can just give it a name, select your resource group, and once you do that, you can create your project, and basically that's it. Really, nothing much um, there. So once you create it, you have like a portal on its own to access it. So I have one created already called Green Foundry, and I will just be launching that. Right. Mm, okay, great. So just check that my screen is visible. Please, if you're in the chat, you can just let me know. If not, I might need to just confirm on YouTube myself. Just checking that you can see my screen. Okay. Just confirming since I'm not getting any responses. All right, so this is our Azure Foundry. This is like the platform I mentioned about how you can build your AI app. Like, looks so cool. Um, so firstly, I wanted to just show us the playground, or let's start with the model catalog, right? I wanted to show us that um, we have such rich models on the Azure AI Foundry. We have a lot of models, and I'll say that if you are trying to build an app using this, it's good to know what exactly you are looking to build, right? So there are different models here, but one of the things about the portal is that, sorry, it's taking a while to load. It shows you the description of all of the models here and what they can do, right? I don't know why it's taking so long to load. Yeah, it's probably my network. Just going to refresh the page again. Yeah, this time around. Okay, yeah. So, oh, still loading. Um, so I think I probably have one before. I'm just going to try and open that one so that we don't just keep waiting for that to load. Okay, still loading. Um, okay, I'm going to go to the playground, see if this one loads faster. Right. All right. Sorry, it looks like my network is a teeny weeny slow, but yeah. So I would just see if the playground loads faster, and we can take it from there. Hopefully, by the time we're done here, the model would be fully loaded. Let's- Okay, good. Looks like this one is loading. Right. Good, 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 good. So this is our agent playground, and here is where we can, test. So this is just for testing purposes, because if you're building an app, you can't use this interface to build one. But yes, you can test here as a user. So I am using this model. That's the model I deployed previously. It's a GPT-40 model, and from there I could just do a test like, what is this? So I'm going to attach an image. Hopefully I find one that I can pick. Show I oh, okay. Let me see if I can do that again. I'm gonna add an image. This is just testing on the playground before we go to building our app. I have this here, so I'm gonna use this. Uh, Not sure if I can switch networks while live. This is really slow. Okay, let's see if this works. Hmm. Looks like this is gonna be. Let's try doing this live. Sorry, I was just trying to switch my network, see if that's better. It's really, really slow. Please give me 5 minutes, switching my network. Hey, hi guys, I'm sorry, break. I'm just going to. All right. So, just confirm that you can see my screen. Right. So, I was saying earlier that we have the agents playground where we test. So, yeah, we're trying to test on the playground, and I was doing a test. So, I'm just going to try it again. All right. I'm going to be at an image. So, let's see if this is faster now. Right. So, it's starting chat, and this is just like it says, it's a playground. So, I can see that you can't see my screen. Just fix that. I hope it shows now. Not sure. Print is not showing. Katrin, if you can add more screen. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry about this. Because I think it's showing now. Okay, so let's try this one more time. Okay, so I think I'll just go into our models. Let's see if this was able to load. Okay, yeah. So we have all of our models here. And like I was saying earlier, when we are trying to build an app with the Azure AI Foundry, it's good to know what you're trying to build and what model would work for you. So we have a catalog here. That's why it's called the model catalog. And if you click any of them, for example, the GPT-5 Nano, you would probably see how it operates, how it works, right? So yeah, we have, if you click on see more, you can see it's ultra fast, low latency use case. So like me with having this internet issue. Um, what else? So it supports multimodal inputs, and that's something I wanted to explain. That when we are building a vision and enabled chat application, we want something that is multimodal because you are sending um a prompt like a multi-part user message. So you're not just sending text like, oh, what is this? You are sending also an image. So you want the prompt box to be able to take not just text but also images and audio, right? So this for example, if you look at this at the bottom, it says supported data types, input is text and image, and the output is text. So it's very important to know, okay, what am I building before you start using any of the models. So today we'll be using a multimodal model, and I'm just going to click on it. It's called a 5-4 multimodal instruct. And if you look here, you can see that it takes audio, image, text, and the output is text. So if you're building anything with it, that means that if you build a chat box or use it on the playground, you're going to let's try and use this model. So you're going to be able to put in audio. Let's start again. Image, text, and your output, whatever you'll be getting on the chat box, will be only text. Right. Okay, so I'm going to click use this model just at the top here. I'm going to agree to all the terms. Okay, so it's just loading. All right, so it's good to give it a unique name. So I'm just going to go with the name I was using before. All right, and I'm going to deploy it. So this is all part of your building process. It's just loading. Okay. If that takes too long, then I'll just work with what I already created. But let's just give some time. Okay, we're good now. So I'm just going to get an image on my PC for us to test this in the playground, and then we'll move to building it on the PCK end. So I'm trying to stick to one minute. Everything is slow. All right, let's see. All right, let me get so I'm taking. So I created one before. That's why you have two of that. I just organize it. So remember, the file model takes in text, audio, and image as input, and output is just text. So just okay. So when we put this, we're expecting just text. No. All right. So if you look at this, it's a single mango. All right. So this is just how it looks on your playground, and your playground is for people who are familiar with UI UX to test the model. All right. So next thing we'll be going to the code aspect. Stop sharing and then see, changing. So for this, we'll be using the Azure Cloud Shell. But if you want to use this on your PC, you need to install some of the requirements. Let's not share my screen again. Okay, so this is our Cloud Shell. Still taking it's taking its time to load. So the internet is really bad today. Can you confirm if the sound is good now? Thank you. So, all right. So, I was trying to just fix the code base. Was saying nobody made. Just see whether anything happening. I don't know why you stopped hearing me. Mm, just going to save this. Control Q and see it is my requirements. Well installed. So I'm getting an error. Just checking again that I have my environment well configured. So what I'm just doing now is installing the requirements again. Okay, requirements are satisfied. So I'm just going to check. Okay. Sure that I import it. Okay, so this is correct. I need to try to run the code. Okay, one copy. All right, so um, right now it's working. So where's the right code? Okay, so we have. I just want to explain this part of our code. So this is the part that is getting us a response to the image. This link is a link to an orange, a picture of an orange. Right. The format is a JPG, right? And then we have our request. So this is putting in the image URL and our headers is user agent, Mozilla. Right. So that's just explaining the request that is going out. Right. I'm going to put in my prompts now. Sure, that's up there. Sure, you can see this. When you can see this, this was up. Oh, wonderful network day. I'm going to do this again. I can't see anything on my terminal. Let's see if I refresh this. Just trying to refresh the page. I could not. So it's just loading the cloud shell again. Just put everything in first, and then I have to just go back to folder for my code. So we'll just try the test again. All right, so we should still have everything. Just gonna open the code again. All right, so this is our code, and we stopped where we're trying to do a test. So I already explained the request part of the code, and I logged in before, but I think I have to log in again. Okay, copy the code. Right, we can finish this without any incidents. Okay. Okay. So I'm running our code again. So this is the same error. So I have to run the comments again. So I previously had to close the PowerShell. No, that's why it's so she should be wrapping up in a bit. Just testing at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to try the code. All right. So ask a question about the image. I'm just going to get a prompt. So this is like a code version of your user interface when you're entering a prompt on maybe ChatGPT or Gemini. Yeah, this chat to text. Text images. So just put it here and then enter. So I did suggest some recipes that include this fruit. Like I explained earlier, the image you have is the image of an orange. So currently it's getting a response. So basically, if you're not a programmer, that's fine. The idea is to understand that you can build your app sitting on Azure, and like Azure offers this service where you can do like build a chat that uses vision and can detect images, classify them. So um, that makes sense. All right, so I'm going to start another test. previous one didn't give a response. Um, this is the same thing, except that the image changes. And okay, so another thing is in your prompt, or rather in your request code, you can do so. Before we use the URL, now we're using a base 64 encoding data. So like that's those are two options you have. So I'm going to run the code again. I'm sure it's still something. Right, let me just check the code, please. Hold on. I should finish it now in say 5 minutes. Just need to fix this and we should be not a programmer, but let's see if I can fix this. Um, so we're just given there's an indentation error. So I'm just trying to fix that. Now. So this should work. Let's try this again. All right. So I'm going to ask the same question. Just getting a response. Okay. So this time around, we get a response. This is a dragon fruit. You can eat the salad, dessert, and even garnish with that. So, basically, the point is the code is trying to show us that we can do it two ways. And that's if you're building your app and you're connecting to Azure, you can use URL for your request, or you can a encoded data. You can encode it in B64. That's your image. So that's basically it. So we've covered Azure Foundry. Sorry for the break so far, but I was just trying to do it like 4 minutes flow. So for you to do this, like I said earlier, you need your Azure SDK for either Python, .NET, or JavaScript. You need your Azure Foundry, which I've looked at. And earlier I talked about how we have so many models in the catalog there. So you need to know what model you're consuming or what you're building so you pick the right model. And I said on the model catalog, you can actually read about each of the models. Then for this, we use a multimodal um, model because we needed it to be taking text, audio, and images. So if you're building anything that requires that, you know that you need something that can take different kind of inputs, not just one kind of input. And then we tried using a code to show how the client's application will interact if you try building one with Azure. So that's what we have gone through so far. But if Katrin is here, but okay, so that's the end. Does anyone have any questions? There was mostly code, but then we saw the output. Okay, there are no questions. All right, so just sorry that we had so many breaks. Okay, it's really terrible too. Um, so thank you everyone for joining, and I hope you're able to reproduce this in your own time, or also like understand the flow and build your app. Bye.